Greetings, fellow humans. My name is Alistair Lord and I am the Renaissance Yorkshireman. Today I'd like to talk to you about the fourth part in a series of 8 on human history, and I'm calling this part The Rise of Local Empires. And this period begins approximately 6,000 years ago with the rise of Sumer in what is modern-day Iraq, and it ends in 1492, which obviously is a very specific date. 6,000 years ago, almost no humans lived under the direct control of the state. Probably less than 1% of the human population of planet Earth. But by 1492, more than 99% of humans came under the direct control of one state or another. This is a massive shift from non-states, primarily tribes and chieftains, to states. So why did this happen? Some of the reasons I've touched on in other videos. So at this time there had already been widespread animal domestication and also widespread plant domestication, and this allowed for settled agricultural communities rather than hunter-gatherers. But another fundamentally important development in this time is writing. So the Sumerians had a system of writing, and with writing this allows a nobility or a class of priests to record who owns what, how many animals, how much food, what people are producing, and therefore how much tax they can pay. So writing facilitates taxation, and without taxation you're pretty much hard pushed to organise a state. So this period starts with Sumer, and gradually other empires rise and fall. Now, with two very notable exceptions, and they are the Roman Empire and the Mongolian Empire, empires are localised. So in Africa, for example, sub-Saharan Africa, it will have been one group of Africans dominating another group of Africans in their local empires. In North America, it will have been one group of North Americans dominating another group of North Americans. Similarly in South America, and similarly in most of Eurasia. But the Mongolians and the Romans do represent an exception to this rule of similar ethnicities dominating other similar or the same ethnicities. So as a general rule, white people are dominating white people, black people are dominating black people, and this kind of domination is within ethnicities. And this east-west axis of the Eurasian landmass is important for other reasons which I'll touch on in the next video. But I just want to mention here that Jared Diamond talks about this quite a lot in his book Guns, Germs and Steel, which won a Pulitzer Prize and I think is a work of genius. And he talks about how with an east-west axis, it's much easier for the transmission of knowledge. It's much easier for the transmission of domesticable animals and domesticable plants, but it's much easier for trade to happen. But also it's much easier to dominate other people, because traveling along an east-west axis is generally easier than a north-south axis. And partly this is to do with weather and climate, because when you're traveling north to south, you can go from extremely cold to extremely hot very easily. But if you're traveling east to west, the temperature doesn't tend to vary as much. So this does mean that with the east-west axis of the Eurasian landmass, it was easier to have the bigger empires with the Mongolians and the Romans. Towards the end of this period, you know, the end of the 1300s, beginning of the 1400s, this begins to change with the age of exploration, as it's often called, when Europeans sent out ships and their colonials to trade and to wage war and set up empires. But I'll get into that in the next video. Thank you for giving me your time today. Peace.